going on, guys? I'm Zach from Autocorrect Detailing, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to properly wash a car like a professional detailer would. First, we're going to be going over all the tools that you're going to need to have to get the job done safely and efficiently. After going over the products and tools, we'll then get into each and every step for washing a car. Alright guys, so as promised, here's all the products we're going to be using to complete the wash on this 2016 Ford Fiesta ST.
Alright guys, so we're going to be using the 3-bucket method for this wash. The black bucket is going to be specifically just for your wheels. Having a bucket just for your wheels stops all the dirt and debris from the wheels from getting into the wash bucket that would use to put on the paint of your car. On the bottom of that bucket, we're going to have a grit guard, which will keep all the sediment and debris stuck on the bottom of the bucket rather than floating around in the soapy water that we're going to use to clean the wheels. First tool that we have in the wheel bucket is going to be the lug nut brush. This is good for cleaning the lug nuts and around the air stem valve. Next up, we have the wheel face brush. This brush just makes it super quick and easy to clean the faces of your wheels. Next up, we have the Tough Shine tire brush. This makes it an absolute breeze to do a deep clean and exfoliate your tires. The Easy Detail brush is my favorite brush in the bucket. With the long stem and the really soft bristles, it allows you to get behind the wheel spokes really well and allows you to clean the entire barrel of the wheel. So last but certainly not least, the wheel cleaner that we're going to be using for this is going to be Americana Global's Breakdown Wheel and Tire Cleaner. Breakdown is an absolute workhorse of a wheel cleaner. You just spray it on there, let it dwell for a minute or two, and then you'll watch all of the contaminants from the wheel kind of just melt away. And then all you gotta do is brush it out a little bit, and then the wheel's gonna be very clean. After you have your wheel bucket set up, we're gonna move on to our wash and rinse bucket. The rinse bucket is just the bucket that you're going to be using to rinse the wash mitt off after you do a panel, and then the wash bucket is going to be the one that's filled with soapy water that you're going to use to actually wash the vehicle. Soap is a SiO2 infused car wash soap that's really good for ceramic coated vehicles like this Fiesta ST. We're going to be cutting soap with just a regular car wash soap, that way it gets a little bit more suds in the foam cannon. These are going to be the very soft bristled body brushes that we're going to use to get all of the gunk and junk out of the cracks and crevices of the exterior body panels. So the tools we're going to be using to actually wash the car are going to be these microfiber wash mitts. These things are an absolute necessity when it comes to washing your car. They won't scratch the paint nearly as much as something like a sponge, a squeegee, or even some microfiber towels. So definitely get your hands on one, if not two, of these microfiber wash mitts. So after you wash the car, you're then gonna have to dry it. Now we're gonna go over the tools and products needed to dry the vehicle and the tools and products needed after the vehicle is dry. The first tool that we're gonna be going over is this DeWalt brushless blower. This thing is great for pre-drying off the vehicle. It's not a necessity for drying the vehicle, but it minimizes the amount of microsquirrels you're gonna put into the vehicle's paint when you're drying. If you do use the blower to dry off your vehicle, you're not gonna get all the water off. So what we're gonna do is use these very plush and absorbent microfiber towels to suck up the rest of the water that's on the paint. Once we have the vehicle completely dry, we're gonna use Hydrosilic's Recharge. This is going to protect the paint and make it very easy to clean for the next 6 months of washing. The last step of this mini detail is going to be to apply tire dressing. For this, we like to use Midnight Tire and Trim Conditioner. It has dyes in it, that way when your tire goes to bloom, it blooms more black than brown or gold. To apply the conditioner, we're going to be using this foam applicator block. And speaking of foam, we're also going to need a foam gun with a garden hose, or what we're using here is a foam cannon with a pressure washer. When we're not using the pressure washer for the foam cannon, we like to use the white 45-degree tip for cleaning the wheels and wheel wells, and the yellow 15-degree tip for cleaning all the body panels.
Alright guys, now that we went over all the products needed to wash your car, let's go through each and every step on how to do it.
Alright guys, so as you could tell, we just got snow here in New Jersey and this car is covered in road salt. The first step to washing a car is not going to be just to directly jump into the wash bucket and the wheel bucket. It's actually to take a step back and to analyze the vehicle. After analyzing the vehicle, you might find some things like big cracks in the glass like we have on the windshield there. You might come across a couple of dents as well. This is a good time to look for anything as well that might catch your wash mitt when washing that can possibly make it worse. Another thing that you're going to want to analyze besides the vehicle is going to be the clothes that you're wearing. The last thing you want to do is wear scratchy clothes that might risk scratching the paint even more. A safe bet is always just to go with gym apparel. It's soft, it won't scratch your paint as easily, and you're going to be very comfortable wearing it. You're also going to want to remove any wristwatches that you might have on. These guys are very well known for scratching your paint. The last thing you're going to want to analyze is going to be the environment you're going to be washing your car in. The last thing you're going to want to do is go out and wash a car while the landscaper's blowing dust around or if you're near a construction site. After analyzing your vehicle, your clothes, and your environment, what you're going to want to do is set up your buckets. Here we have our wash bucket that we're going to put a little bit of Americana soap in there and just regular car wash soap. We're going to mix those two together. Next to it, we have just the rinse bucket. That's going to be specifically just for water. There's going to be no other soaps that go in there. And then all the way to the right side, we have the wheel bucket with all of our wheel brushes in there. And that's just going to get a little bit of car soap and water. This is also going to be the time where you're going to have to fill up your foam cannon with 2 ounces of non-stripping car wash soap and 1 ounce of Americana Global's soap. Alright guys, so now that our buckets are set up, it's time to get our hands on the car. The first thing we're going to do is pop the hood, put on a set of gloves, and then cover the intake, the battery, and the alternator with a towel. Then we're going to take our pressure washer with the 40-degree tip and lightly blast off the engine bay. Once the engine bay is blasted off, you can spray a very diluted 20-to-1 ratio of degreaser on the engine and then lightly scrub all of the surfaces with your lug nut brush. Once everything is agitated with the lug nut brush, we're safe to rinse off the entire engine bay lightly without flooding any of the electrical components. Once the degreaser is rinsed off the engine, we can then move into drying. The way we're going to do this is going to be a combination of air drying and towel drying. Since we already have the garden hose or pressure washer out, now's a good time to wash your rubber floor mats. To do this, we're going to blast the floor mat off and then use the wheel face brush to remove any remaining dirt. So now that we have the floor mats cleaned and in a place to dry, we're going to move on to cleaning the wheels. Cleaning the wheels is pretty easy. All you have to do is blast them off with your pressure washer or garden hose like you see me doing here. And then you just take your wheel cleaner and then spray it all over the wheel and wheel well. Let it dwell for a minute or two, and then you use your brushes to agitate any of the tight holding contaminants off. Once you're done using your brushes on the wheels, you'll then rinse off the wheels, assuring that there's no more wheel cleaner residue left on the wheel. If you guys want a really in-depth video on how to clean your wheels, be sure to check the links in the description below. We have another video made for that.
Alright guys, I just wanted to take a moment to hop out of the voiceover to remind you when you're done cleaning all 4 of your wheels, you want to use the same tools and chemicals that you use to clean your wheels on your exhaust tips.
Alright guys, now that the wheels and the exhaust tips are completely clean, it's time to rinse off the rest of the vehicle. Now that the vehicle's sprayed off, we'll spray some bug remover on all the frontward facing panels. Alright guys, now for the most satisfying part of the wash, we're going to foam down the entire vehicle. Alright guys, so the next step after foaming down the vehicle is going to be to take your soft bristle brushes and brush out all of the cracks and crevices on the exterior body panels. Now that we have the car foamed and brushed out with the soft bristled brushes, what we're going to do is we're going to take our microfiber wash mitts and then start washing the vehicle from the top to the bottom. The reason why we wash the vehicle from the top to the bottom is because the top of the vehicle tends to be the cleanest part of the vehicle and the bottom tends to be the dirtiest. If you were to start washing a car from the bottom up, what you would do is the microfiber wash mitt would pick up all of the dirt and debris, or in this case, road salt, and it would pick it up in the mitt and then scratch into the paint as you go up on the panel.
Alright guys, so I just wanted to discuss what I'm actually doing while washing the vehicle. I know it looks like I'm just kind of dunking a wash mitt in a bucket and then putting it on the paint. Pretty much what I'm doing is there's grit guards on the bottom of each one of these buckets. Grit guards look like this. Basically what you do with these is you just take your wash mitt and then on the bottom you rub the wash mitt on the grit guard. What that's going to do is loosen up the microfiber little woolly things on the mitts, and it's actually going to remove a lot of the sediment and debris that's in the wash mitt, and it's going to trap it under the grit guard. That way all of the big debris stays at the bottom of the bucket and isn't floating up in the water. So on my 2 buckets here, this one is our rinse bucket. It has very little water in it. And then this one is our wash bucket. this has a lot of soapy water in it. Pretty much what we do is after we're done wiping down a panel, what you want to do is take your wash mitt and then put it in the rinse bucket, so the one that has no soap in it, it's just water, is you actually want to take the wash mitt and then go like this on the bottom. What that's gonna do, that's gonna agitate the wash mitt enough to get all of the gross debris out of the wash mitt. That way, when you put your wash mitt back into the wash bucket, it's clean and you're not just mixing debris and dirt in both buckets. So all the dirt and debris will go into the rinse bucket, and then you'll have a clean wash mitt for when you put it into the wash bucket. That way you have the clean soapy water on the wash mitt before you put it back onto the paint, and you're not just scratching up your paint again with a bunch of little debris, rocks, salt. Right now it's the winter, so there's tons of salt on this thing. You're not just digging that into the clear coat. So pretty much after every panel, I start from the top and I work my way down the panel, down to the bottom. By the time I get to the bottom of that panel, the wash mitt is going to be pretty dirty on that one side. So you always want to remember when you're washing a car, there's two sides of the wash mitt. So right now, here's the top, here's the bottom. What you're gonna want to do is use one side of the wash mitt to do one panel from top to bottom, and then you flip it to the clean side. Then you go from top to bottom on the next panel. What that's gonna do is that's gonna save you a whole bunch of time. That way you're not just dunking and rinsing your wash mitt every single panel when you don't need to. Remember to use both sides of your wash mitt.
Alright guys, now that we're done washing the vehicle with the wash mitts, we're going to take those same wash mitts and wring them out so that there's not much water in them. Then we're going to take them and clean the door jambs. When you're cleaning the door jambs, you also want to remember to clean the hood jamb and the hatch or trunk jamb. And once the jambs are all clean, we're going to take our pressure washer or garden hose and do a thorough rinse on the exterior. That way we can ensure that there's no more soap left on the paint. Now that we've rinsed the car completely off and made sure that there's no more soap left on the paint, what we're going to do is move into drying. To dry, we're going to start off by using the DeWalt blower to blow off the majority of water that beaded up on the paint. And then we're going to follow up the dry with a large microfiber drying towel. Before we put the towel on the paint, what we're going to do is take hydrosilix recharge and just do a couple squirts on each side of the towel and massage it in. That way there's a little bit of lubricity on the towel before landing on the paint. Alright guys, now that the vehicle is completely dry, what we're going to do is apply a little bit of hydrosilix to the paint. What this is going to do is protect it and make it a lot easier to clean in the future, along with making it a lot shinier and hydrophobic. To apply this, all you got to do is put one spray on a plush microfiber towel and then wipe it on using a crosshatch pattern. After that, we're going to take our Midnight tire conditioner and apply that using this foam applicator block. When applying the tire conditioner, you want to use a pretty decent amount of the conditioner on the applicator. That way the tire can absorb up as much product as possible. Then you let the product sit for about 20 to 30 minutes and then wipe it again with a dry, clean towel. That'll remove any excess residue from the tire conditioner. Having too much tire conditioner on your tires is not a good thing. The excess of product can sling off of the tires and onto the paint, which then can eventually stain the paint.
So that concludes the video on how to properly wash a car like a professional detailer. If you got anything out of this video, we'd really appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. We're gonna be trying to put out more videos like this, how-to tutorials, or just some super satisfying detailing videos. Let us know in the comment section below, by the way, which one you would rather see. More tutorials or just some super satisfying details. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Once we do get to 1,000 subscribers, we're gonna choose one lucky commenter. That one lucky commenter is gonna win a free bottle of Midnight Tire Dressing and a free bottle of Breakdown Wheel Cleaner. But again, guys, I'm Zach from Autocorrect Detailing. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you in the next one.